this week we won't be covering
dogs are rebuilding Chilean forests,
another up-and-coming dictator in China,
Jared Kushner having his security clearance downgraded.
We will be covering
from the best news headquarters in the world, this is Breaking News, a recap.
Good evening everyone and welcome to Breaking News, a recap. I'm Jessica Pratt and keen-eyed viewers will notice that I'm alone at the desk as our own Wesley Newfarmer is once again on assignment in the US. Usually the powers that be would have Kirin sitting next to me, but after I lobbied so hard for her to be promoted to Director of Sport, she now doesn't have the time to cross over to the news desk. Unlucky for her. We will check in with Wesley soon, but before we do, on with the news. A bank in the US is suing a woman who made more than 50 withdrawals from an ATM that spat out $100 bills instead of fives. The bank says the woman should not have taken advantage of them by taking more money than she should have, a thought most bank customers have every time they get charged to use an ATM, make an international transfer, or just simply utter the word money within the earshot of a bank. A research study by Curtin University has found that standing desks could in fact make you dumber. The study observed 20 adults and found that when standing for long periods, their reaction time and mental state deteriorated. However, they did find that the participants' willingness to problem solve improved, mostly due to them finding creative excuses to sit down. Well, the fallout continues from the latest school shooting in the US. While teenagers have been vocal in wanting changes and challenging lawmakers to do so, Donald Trump added his 2 cents to the conversation with his ingenious idea to provide teachers with guns, because to him that seems more logical than banning the sale of assault weapons. But Trump doesn't want to arm all teachers, only those that
have a natural talent, like hitting a baseball, or hitting a golf ball, or putting.
So that leaves us with this question. If a teacher was as talented in baseball or golf as they would need to be to shoot an erratic moving target whilst protecting a classroom of 30 students, what the hell are they doing earning a pathetic teaching wage? And what's next? A semester of gun handling 101 at teaching college? I'm sure that would fit nicely in the timetable between teaching math and English texts of the 20th century. For more on the disturbing subject, we cross to our own Wesley Newfarmer, joining us from Washington, D.C. Wesley.
Thank you, Jessica. I'm here outside a shooting range in the woods where I'm hoping to understand these radicals who don't believe in any kind of gun restrictions. I've disguised my voice to hide my identity. As I interviewed local gun enthusiasts, I met people like Ben Dinkman and Cindy Wright, who are among the thousands of people who have voluntarily given up their assault rifles in the wake of recent shootings. It seems individual gun owners aren't the radicals I thought. Next, I turn to the radical influence of major corporations blocking sensible gun laws. But Walmart and Dick's Sporting Goods have just added their own restrictions on gun purchases. Not exactly radical either. It seems the only radicals are those who think campaign contributions speak louder than the screams and sirens of the next mass shooting. Congress, shamelessly arming terrorists since 1999.
Thank you, Wesley, and safe travels back.
As always, the crew in business class will look after me very well.
You booked him business class tickets? Serious? Moving on, it's time for sport with our very own Director of Sport, Ciaran Hilliar. Ciaran?
Thanks, Jessica. The Winter Olympics are over for another 4 years. This year's games were deemed a success, even though they finished with a small hiccup, with the men's gold medal winning curling team accidentally receiving medals which read Women's Curling Gold. While the controversial mix-up was embarrassing for the organisers, it will go down in history as one of the most exciting things to ever happen to the sport of curling. Oh, except for that guy who got done for doping. Back to you, Jessica.
Thanks, Ciaran. On to the weather. In Australia, it is officially autumn. Autumn is also officially the name for that season, as opposed to what the US calls it, fall. Wesley?
In the US, it's colder and drier than you might expect until you realize you've just gotten used to the usual heat of Dubai, and here it's still what experts are calling winter.
While in the Middle East, it rained the other day. Not enough to really do much other than make your car so dirty you had to get it washed from one of the many conveniently located, poorly paid workers that seem to live in mall car parks. Well, that's all the time we have and all the news there is. If you liked our show, please share amongst your friends. If you didn't, maybe this will help.
Tune in next time for more breaking news a few days after it actually happens.
Right, so he travels business class and he gets to do the sign-off. Yeah. It seems completely fair. Great. I love you guys too.